brutal. He has millions facing extreme conditions today. Triple digit temperatures and high humidity. The temperatures enough flood survivors in Central Appalachia. Justin Michaels, the Weather Channel has detained. With the eastern half of the U.S. facing intense heat and humidity today, power companies like New York's Con Edison are issuing warnings that a massive increase in demand could cause outages during an extremely dangerous time.
Working towards outages one day after the next of high temperature, high heat, and the high demand and the stresses that puts on the system.
The state's energy supplier expects today to set another new record for electricity demand for the 12th time in less than 2 months. In Kentucky, the sweltering heat is only adding to the misery. The daunting cleanup effort inches forward while
I've lost everything I had. My whole livelihood's gone.
Now to Washington, CBS's Scott McFarland has the latest on where things stand with a key part of the agenda, a huge spending package. Now the Democrat Joe Manchin supports it.
All eyes are now on another moderate Senate Democrat, Kirsten Sinema of Arizona, who we've seen huddling through the week with her colleagues amid reports she's pushing back on one of the tax provisions in this bill, which would scale back an existing tax break for investment fund managers, some of whom have donated significantly to Sinema's campaign. She also wants to scale up for drought programs.
Flags are at half staff at the U.S. Capitol after the death of Indiana Republican Congresswoman Jackie Walorski. She was killed along with 2 staffers and another person in a 2-car crash in her district. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita got to know her well when she was a state legislator.
One of those people that you can go to church with or to the bar. One right after the other. And she very well and very genuinely in both places.
President Biden says Walorski was respected by members of both parties for her work. 4 minutes after the hour.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Whether you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance yours, Rocket Mortgage can help you get there. For home loan solutions that fit your life, Rocket can.
1877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title? No problem. With gas prices at all-time highs, now's the time to donate.
1877 Cars for Kids.
You'll receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher. So donate today at carsforkids.org. There's a new twist in the battle over reproductive rights in this country, and it comes from a state that passed abortion restrictions for years.
Residents who can prove they're pregnant can now claim a $3,000 deduction for each unborn child. That follows the Supreme Court ruling overturning the right to abortion enshrined in Roe v. Wade, and it conforms with Georgia's Living Infant and Fairness Equality Act, which defines a natural person as any human being, including an unborn child.
The Associated Press has obtained nearly 12,000 pages of sealed records from a child sex abuse lawsuit against the Mormon Church. Families of survivors who filed it say there was a system that diverted accusations from a helpline away from law enforcement and into the hands of church leaders. Lynn Cadigan represents the young victim.
What I think we all want for justice in this case is for churches to start immediately.
Were off by 25 points. Application. The scores went out from mid-March through early April. Equifax began telling lenders about the errors in May. The credit bureau blames a technology coding issue and believes only a small number of consumers were rejected or charged a higher rate. Equifax was implicated in a 2017 data breach that exposed sensitive information of nearly 150 million people. The shooting of Lady Gaga's dog walker and the theft only released 5 months ago, and arrested, pleaded no contest to robbery charges and got a 4-year prison sentence. Has appealed the Deshaun Watson suspension.
The 6-game suspension has been criticized by some as too light. The NFL, under its collective bargaining agreement with the Players Association, has the right to appeal. Under this agreement, Commissioner Roger Goodell, someone designated by him, can then make a final ruling.
CBS's Steve Futterman earlier reports that the league was seeking a for the Cleveland quarterback who was at the center of a sexual misconduct scandal. Bill Vick and the new Saudi Golf Tour are suing the PGA, claiming it's used its monopoly power to try to limit competition and has issued improper suspensions. Time on the roundup, 8 past the hour.
It is 7:08 at the Bay Area's news station KCBS. Whole lot of sunshine throughout the afternoon today, maybe just a few clouds at the coast. Good morning, I'm Melissa Colross.
I'm Eric Thomas.
California's already critical firefighter shortage gets worse. Now to your local Honda dealer's traffic center to help you get around this morning with Kim Wonderly. She's got her eyes on your drive.
Yeah, I'm still looking at Marin County, South 101. You look fine from Novato through San Rafael, but just as you come a little south of that 580 turnoff for the Bridgman-San Rafael Bridge, there's brake lights ahead. Looks like CHP is still dealing with this stall reported between 580 and Sir Francis Drake. Car broke down in the third from left lane. Brake lights still at the scene. In the meantime, we're taking a look at traffic in the far reaches of San Benito County, actually. This is as you make your way south of Gilroy. We've got some road work out here, South 101 between Highway 25 and Highway 129. It's zagging in lanes until 10 o'clock this morning. It's in the right lane, so they're forcing you over to the left lane. We did hear from traffic is backed up to the Castro Valley Road turnoff, which is just north of Highway 25. So look at Valley traffic, North 101 heading that way, a little slow into Morgan Hill. After that, you're fine until you get up toward North 101 at 280. From 280 out. Traffic is starting to loosen at the Altamont Pass. That's good news. Westbound 205, it's sluggish from Mountain House. We saw before as you make your way up to the top of that grade on West 580. Your next on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Along the coast, we still have clouds, and they'll stick around for a while, but we're starting to see some sun in the inland areas, and we're going to see lots of it later on today. Highs in the 60s along the coast, 70s and 80s by the bay, upper 80s and low 90s inland. For this evening, breezy at the coast, but partly cloudy around the Bay Area. Lows in the 50s at the ocean, 60s bayside and inland. Traffic and weather together on the 8s and all news 40 KCBS.
KCBS News Time 7:10. California shortage of federal firefighters has gotten worse this year, despite pledges to increase the ranks in time for fire season. KCBS's Matt joins us live now with that story. Matt.
We're talking about firefighters with the U.S. Forest Service, which protects a big portion of the state's wilderness. Their numbers have been declining in recent years in California, but now they're down about 25%, or nearly 1,300 fire crews. As a result of less capacity to put out wildfires, the agency plans to make up the difference by bringing in firefighters from other states and contracting with local fire departments. Fremont Fire Battalion Chief Carl Adams has volunteered to fight wildfires for CAL FIRE. I know that I've been out on a few fires in the last couple. So, it's good to be able to go back and help that community when, typically we're just in a local area. According to the Chronicle, the federal firefighter shortage in California is closely related to the state's high cost of living. Last year, President Biden boosted federal firefighters to $15 an hour, but that's still less than the $20 offered by CAL FIRE. Live in San Francisco, Matt Ziegler, KCBS.
Thanks, Matt. UC indefinitely on affordable and student housing at People's Park, but college officials say they will eventually move ahead with the project despite protesters breaking down construction fences yesterday. KCBS reporter Megan Goldsby talked with one activist who says the college
beginning of the end for People's Park, says activist Maxina Ventura.
I mean, it's horrible what's happening to see the trees that are down. But yes, it is part of the story, and people are destroying equipment. And, you know, frankly, I'm happy about that.
The history of the park just means too much to turn it into housing, saying she's come here for 40 years for art and music, and
it's the site of so much organizing around the civil rights movement, this neighborhood, the free speech movement, the anti-Vietnam War movement, later the campaign against apartheid. Cop Watch came out of the park also. Ben, what UC does not want represented wants to wipe out the history of this national landmark.
UC Berkeley released a statement to KCBS saying they need more student housing as soon as possible, and crews will be moving ahead with construction as soon as they can figure out how to do so that workers and protesters are safe. At People's Park in Berkeley, Megan Goldsby, KCBS.
KCBS News Time, 7:13. While the Dodgers tapped into their roster of young players to beat the Giants last night. We'll get details in sports in 2 minutes.
Summer's in full swing. Are you making the most of it with backyard barbecues, pool parties, and s'mores by the fire pit? Or have you spent another season staring at the same crumbling patio or cracked driveway? You deserve better. The outdoor remodeling experts at System Pavers can help. Get the outdoor space you've always wanted. And for a limited time, System Pavers will demolish and remove your for free. This unbeatable offer can save you hundreds or even thousands. Start by calling 800-PAVE-004 or visit SystemPavers.com. Plus, enjoy special financing to get the ball rolling today. With 30 years of experience and more than 75,000 projects completed, System Pavers delivers more than just beautiful models. You get peace of mind knowing the job's done right. Call System Pavers at 800-PAVE-004 today. That's 800-PAVE-004 or visit SystemPavers.com.
All orders must be placed by August 31st. Financing subject to credit approval. See website for full offer and demolition savings details. Contractor's license 661575.
Kansas City Steak Company, another AmericanEagle.com success story. Started in 1932 as a family-owned butcher shop, today they're a leading distributor of superior all-American steaks delivered right to your door. When it came to their website, an average site wouldn't do. They chose AmericanEagle.com. Level. With a dramatic increase in competition and a softening market demand, they had two challenges: improve their brand presence and message, and produce a positive return. AmericanEagle.com got to work and executed usability studies and detailed audits of site experience, digital assets, and marketing. The result? An integrated digital marketing and customer experience plan, organic traffic increase of 20%, and a long-term roadmap for success. If you love great steaks, go to KansasCitySteaks.com for website design, development, and online solutions that bring efficiency and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. If you need a results-driven website, call the team at AmericanEagle.com at 877-WebNow1. That's 877-WebNow1.
Coming up on KCBS.
I'm Holly Kwan. A medical mystery solved in Napa County facing an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease.
Time to check the sports line at 7:15 over to the Bay Area Chevy Dealer Sports Desk and Joe Hughes. And Joe, the Giants are playing OK AAA.
Last year, Giants and Dodgers was really something to see as the two teams battled it out for the best record, with each game really having the season on it. This year, not much has gone right, at least for the Giants, at least since April. The team winning record since the first month of the season as they continue to flounder. Their latest line, a 7-game losing streak to the rival Dodgers, the longest losing skid against the Dodgers since 1980. Last night it was a 3-0 loss, and the Dodgers doing what they do best against the Giants, calling up a young player who seems to have an immediate impact. Sportsnet LA, Miguel Vargas, the Dodgers' 5th best prospect and considered the 28th best prospect in baseball, coming up to drive in a pair against the Giants. That's going to endear him to those LA Dodger fans. Giants skipper Gabe Kapler on how LA manages to continue to bring up young players.
A really nice job of scouting and player development over the years. It's a pipeline that keeps good players coming in year out. They've been really good at it.
Well, the Giants now 5.5 games out of the final wild card spot with 2 teams still ahead of them. The website FanGraphs giving the Giants a 6% chance to make the postseason this year. As for the Oakland A's, they pull out a 3. Pitcher Sean Murphy has been red hot for the last 6 weeks. Last night, driving in all 3 runs, including a 2-run shot against Ohtani. That was the 13th homer of the year for Sean Murphy. A's will take on the Angels later this afternoon with Paul Blackburn on the hill for a 107 first.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be different pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's Identify.
Staples has everything for school at great prices. So this year you won't go back to school. You'll be ready to move forward and master 5th grade math.
I can't do this. It's impossible.
You dad, your daughter. Staples will help her move forward.
Right.
Right now, Staples one-subject notebooks are just 35 cents each. Plus, select backpacks are 50% off. Everything on your list at amazing prices. Staples, we're not going back. We're going forward to school. In-store backpack offer ends 8/6. Notebook offer ends 8/27. Limit 30.
At Whole Foods Market, get animal welfare certified beef short ribs 9th while supplies last. Plus, Prime members save an extra 10%. Shop in-store.com/Whole Foods. Terms apply.
KCBS traffic and weather time with the 6-day forecast coming up. But first, let's check your drive to work with Kim Wonderly. Yeah, getting word of an overturned crash. This is on Highway 84. Your way to and from Sonoma. I'm starting to see a backup on both sides of the roadway, but heavily, of course, in the commute direction, which is inbound on 84, heading toward 680. So it looks like we do have lanes blocked here, just a mile or so out from the 680 interchange. Again, Highway 84, injury crash with a vehicle overturned, hit one of those attenuator barrels. In the meantime, we're taking a look at the Vapor. It's not bad here. The Chiltern body collision behind the metering light, so it hasn't really grown. It's still not anywhere near the MacArthur interchange. Most of the way into San Francisco, it's a little crowded here and there, but overall is moving well. We're looking at west from Albany Hill, just a little bit of slowing here approaching Gilman. Starts to loosen up by the time you're at University Avenue. You're looking fine. The Richmond-San Rafael Bridge backup now is fairly solid from Canal Boulevard on westbound 580 as you approach the pay gates here. Once you're on the span, you're good to go into Marin. Speaking of Marin, they did take care of that stall. Looks like it's gone from South 101 as you approach Sir Francis Drake. Only a little bit of crowding left on the freeway. Your next update, 7:28 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Mancini Sleep World 6-day weather forecast. Introducing Sleep Match exclusively at Mancini Sleep World. Let's check in with Darren Beck. And Darren, as I stepped out the door at 0 dark 30, kind of muggy.
Yeah, still, Eric, we've still got some of that leftover humidity in the air coming from the desert there, that complex of thunderstorms. They get it all summer long. Got pushed farther west. That can happen occasionally, and it happens from time to time. We're not going to be able to develop any rain or thunderstorms from that today. That's done. But that's because tomorrow the flow in the atmosphere is going to change enough. We're going to scour out whatever humidity is still here that you're feeling, and we're also going to get a cool down tomorrow for many of our inland valleys. We're going to go from 90 today in our North Bay valleys to 80 on Friday. And if you're in today to mid-80s tomorrow, San Jose will go from the upper 80s today to the low 80s. Won't notice as much of a cool down, but you'll still come down a few degrees for Friday. And then once we do that, we're just sitting there all the way through the weekend, and the next 6 days, it's going to be pretty much smooth sailing just like that. I'm meteorologist Darren Peck with your KCBS KPIX5 First Alert Forecast.
Darren, thank you very much. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
Public health officials believe they have solved a mystery that's led to a deadly outbreak of Legionnaire's disease. However, Holly Kwan tells us live, the case numbers still may grow. Holly.
Well, not the one person are in the hospital right now, one of them on a ventilator after a dozen people were diagnosed with Legionnaire's disease in the last 3.5 weeks. It's an airborne bacteria that can grow